Hey guys, nice to see you. My name is Jessica Cmir, and today we are going to be doing a lesson about comparing and contrasting. This lesson is suitable for children in the 8th grade. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. What will you need for this lesson? For this lesson, you will need a pencil or a pen. You'll need some paper, and you'll need a watch or a clock in order to time yourself. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to go get these things. So go get them and come right back. Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you were able to go get all the materials that I asked of you. I want to know, can you find what is different and what is alike between pictures and between texts? Can you use vocabulary to help you write and say what is different and what is the same? If you answered no, don't worry. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you learn how to say how things are different and to say how things are alike. So won't you come with me on this journey and we'll learn? What will we learn? We will learn how to compare and contrast. Now you might be asking yourself, well, Jessica, what is compare and what is contrast? Well, I'm going to tell you. Compare means to find out what is the same, and contrast means to find out what is different. We compare when we want to see how things are alike or similar or the same. We contrast when we want to see how things are different, dissimilar, not alike. So please remember this rule. Compare means it's the same, and contrast means different. So when you see the words compare and contrast, don't get scared. Just remember, compare means the same. I need to say why the things are the same. Contrast means different. I have to say why the text or the pictures or the sentences are different. What can you compare and what can you contrast? So there are many things. For example, you can compare people. When I say people, for example, I can compare my two children. I compare and contrast my daughter with my son. How are they similar? They're both little. They're both under the age of 5. How are they different? Well, one is a boy and one is a girl. You can also compare and contrast objects. An example of an object that we can compare and contrast would be a telephone, a home line, a home phone, with a cell phone. They're similar, or you can compare them because you can make phone calls from both of them. You can contrast them or say why they're different because the cell phone you can take anywhere with you. However, the home phone can only be used in the house. We can compare and contrast animals as well. Let's compare and contrast a dog and a cat. A dog and a cat, they are both similar in that they both have fur. Now, how are they different? Well, they're different because a dog barks and a cat meows. Now, these are just examples. There are many reasons why cats and dogs are similar or different. I'm just telling you some examples of what I'm thinking. Sorry. The next thing we can compare and contrast are places. For example, we can compare Israel to America. How are they similar? Well, they're both countries. How are they different? In Israel, people speak Hebrew and Arabic. And in America, people speak English. So in that way, they're different. We can compare and contrast music. there are many different genres of music that you can say how they are similar or different to each other. Books. We can compare and contrast books. Now, what's inside the books can you compare and contrast? You can compare and contrast the characters. You can say what's the same and what's different with the settings. Settings is where the story takes place. You can also compare and contrast the different major events that happened within the story, within the book. Let's learn some very important vocabulary. Now, the first words that I have written here, up until while, so all these words up until here, these are all words that show me that I am comparing things, okay? Comparing, remember, saying why things are the same. So let's learn some of these words. The first word, same. Same is אותו דבר. Similar. Similar is דומה. In the same way, באותו הדרך. The same as, בדיוק כמו. Both. שניהם. Like. כמו. As you know, the word like has a couple of meanings. Like here means כמו, but it also is similar to the word love. I like him, I love him. Okay, so there's two different meanings. Based on the sentence, I know which definition of the word like they're referring to. All right, let's keep moving on. In common, במשותף. As well, גם כן. So all these words that we just went over now, these are words or phrases that tell me I am comparing or saying why things are the same or similar. Now we're going on to this word, while, בזמן ש. While is a word that when I see, I know I am contrasting things, saying why things are different. Let's move on to vocabulary word list number 2. We have the word here, also. Also means גם. When I see the word also, I know I'm comparing two things or more than two things, saying why they are the same. Now from the word differ all the way to the end, all these words or phrases I use when I'm contrasting things, saying why they are different. So, let's learn them. Differ, נבדיל. Different, שונה. Difference, הבדל. However, למרות. But, אבל. Unlike, לא כמו. You remember, like is כמו, and the second that I add on un, then it means the opposite of כמו. So, לא כמו. Although, אף על פי ש. Even though, אף על פי. On the other hand, בצד שני. Great. Now, I want to take an example from two objects that I'm sure you all know quite well. Bananas and oranges. So, first, we're going to compare bananas and oranges. We are going to say how they are the same or similar to each other. So, these are my thoughts. I said you can eat both of them. They are both fruits. And you have to peel both of them, right? You can't eat the peel. The peel is not good. So these are the three things that I thought that bananas and oranges have in common. Now, let's contrast bananas and oranges. Let's say why bananas and oranges are different or unlike one another. My thoughts are, oranges are orange, while bananas are yellow. Oranges are round, however, bananas are long. Oranges have seeds you can't eat, however, bananas have seeds you can eat. I bet you didn't know bananas had seeds, but they do. Those little black dots in the bananas, they're seeds, and yes, you can eat them. So that's another difference between bananas and oranges. Now we're going to look at a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is a great tool for you to use when you want to organize a text, if you want to know what things are the same and what things are different. So how do you make a Venn diagram? Well, you draw two circles, and on to the right of the circles, you write all the facts about one thing, and to the left, on the left circle, you write all the things about that particular object, and in the middle, you write the things that they have in common, what they both share. So I wrote here that a Venn diagram is a great way to organize your thoughts when you compare and contrast two things or many other things. In the middle, as I said, is where you put how the two things are alike or the same. On the sides, on the two different sides, you put how the things are different. So based on what I told you before about bananas and oranges, let's organize what I said. So for bananas, we said that they are yellow, that they are long, and that you can eat the seeds. Now this is only true for bananas. Now let's go to the right, the circle on the right where it says oranges. We wrote that oranges are orange, they are round, and you can eat the seeds. Now what I wrote here is only true for oranges. And if you notice in the middle where it says both, I wrote that they are both fruit, they are both healthy, you can eat them both, you have to peel them, and they're both tasty. Now, let's write some sentences. We're going to do some sentences first about comparing. Okay, let's read them together. Number 1, oranges and bananas are similar because they both. Think about what you want to write, and now this is the time on your paper to write the answer, to write this sentence and what can be the continuation of the sentence. So write your answers while I read to you the sentences. Number 2, oranges and bananas are alike because they both. Okay, guys, think and write your answer. Number 3, oranges and bananas are also. Okay, write down a possible answer for what you think could be the completion to the sentence. And the last sentence that I have written here is, like oranges, bananas. Okay, take your time, write your answers. And now I'm going to show you the answers that I wrote. Let's see if we have the same answers. So, for number 1, I wrote, oranges and bananas are similar because they both are tasty. If you remember, in the Venn diagram that we had in the middle, where it was red, one of the things that it said was they're tasty, was tasty. Number 2, oranges and bananas are alike because they both are fruit. Number 3, oranges and bananas are also healthy. Number 4, like oranges, bananas can be eaten. All of these sentences that I made here, I took from the information from my Venn diagram where I wrote in the middle how they are similar. Now I also want to point out that I have here words highlighted in blue. For example, number 1, I have the word similar and both. They're highlighted in blue. I highlighted them because I want you to remember when you see these words, you know that you are comparing two things, saying why they're the same. Number 2, I also have the word alike and both. These words also are signal words to show me that I am comparing or saying how two things are the same. Number 3, also here is my signal word for a comparing sentence. And number 4, like oranges, bananas can be eaten. So the word like also shows me that I am comparing things. Now we have some examples of contrasting sentences, saying how things are different. So I'm going to give you some time to fill in the sentences with your answers. In the meantime, I will read. Number 1, oranges and bananas are different because. Number 2, oranges and bananas differ because. And number 3, on the other hand. So think back to the Venn diagram that we did where we wrote how things are, what oranges are, what bananas are, and how they're the same in the middle. And now try to fill in your sentences. I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to do that, and then we're going to check them. I'll show you my answers. Okay, guys, I hope you had enough time. Now let's go over them. Okay. So remember, all these sentences, we're saying how things are different, how the bananas and oranges are different. So number 1, oranges and bananas are different because one is round and one is long. You notice the word different? That's my signal word to know that I need to say how they're different or I'm contrasting them, okay? Different means to contrast, say they're not the same. Number 2, oranges and bananas differ, here's my signal word, because one is orange and one is yellow. Exactly. It's a good example showing how they're not the same. They're 2 different colors. Number 3, you can eat a banana's seeds. On the other hand, you can't eat an orange's seeds. Great. On the other hand is also, we said, a signal phrase for that we know that we need to contrast things. Great job. I bet we had some similar answers. Let's move on. Now here's a fun exercise. I want you guys to take time. We're going to compare and contrast these pictures. As you can see, you have picture A with the little boy, picture B, picture C, D, picture E, picture F, picture G, and picture H. Now you can do many things here. You can compare and contrast picture A to picture B, or you can even do, if you want, picture A, compare and contrast it to picture H. It doesn't matter the order. I compared and contrast picture A to B, C to D, E to F, G to H, but you're welcome to do it any way you want. So I'm going to give you some time now to write down sentences comparing and contrasting the different pictures. When we come back from the break, I'll show you my answers, and hopefully some of our answers are the same. Or maybe they'll even be different, and I'm sure you guys have great answers too. So I'll see you soon. Hey everybody, welcome back. Good to see you again. I hope you had enough time to write sentences comparing and contrasting the different pictures of these kids here. So I'm going to show you some of the sentences that I wrote. Let's take a look. So, compare and contrast the pictures. So the first sentence that I did was, both pupil A and pupil B are smiling. Now, if you see here, I use the keyword or the signal word sentence of how these two girls are similar. Let's think. Pupil E and pupil F both have orange headbands. Pupil E and pupil F both have cute pink Mary Jane shoes. Great. Let's move on now to pupil G and pupil H. So I wrote, pupil G is wearing shoes, however, pupil Okay, compare and contrast you and your sibling. Now, I just wanted to remind you that the word sibling, that means your brother or your sister. So here they want us to compare and contrast me to my brother or to my sister. So, okay, well, I have a brother, and how are we similar? We're similar in that we both have the same parents, and we're different. I can contrast us by saying he is older and I am younger. Let's try to spin again and see what we get. Compare and contrast baseball and basketball. Okay, well, baseball and basketball, they're similar in that both sports use balls. Now, how are they different? Let's think. Oh, I know. Baseball, they use a small ball. In basketball, there's a big ball. Okay. Let's spin again, see what we get now. All right, a dog and a cat. Let's compare and contrast a dog and a cat. I'm going to try to use some of the vocabulary that we learned, okay? So, a dog and a cat are alike because they are both animals. You see? I have the word both there, both of them. They're both animals. A dog and a cat differ. They are different. They differ because a dog barks and a cat meows. Let's keep going. Ooh, you and your sibling. We already got this one, right? Compare and contrast your sibling. Do you remember what a sibling is? If you said a brother or sister, you're right. Are alike in that they're both my parents. So I have the words alike in both. That's how I show that they're the same, how they're similar, how I compare them. Now I'm going to contrast them. My mom and dad are different in that my mom is a woman and my dad is a man. I have another one. Are you guys getting this down? Do you remember what compare is and what contrast? Remember, compare, we say how they're the same. Contrast, we say how they're different. Here's another topic, English and Hebrew. Let's compare and contrast them. So, when we read English, we read from left to right. And when we read Hebrew, we read from right to left. So that's a difference. Now let's say how they're similar, how they're the same. English and Hebrew, they are both languages. That's a way. Oh, and if you noticed, English and Hebrew, I want to point this out. English starts with a capital E, and Hebrew also starts with a capital H, because when you're talking about languages, they begin with capital letters. Please don't forget, it's very important. Let's spin the wheel again. So I think we have the option here to remove something. So I'm going to remove you and your sibling because this is already the third time that we got that topic. So I removed it, and now we're going to spin again. And hopefully we'll get something else. Okay, let's compare and contrast a car to a bike. Okay, so a car and a bike are different in that a car has 4 wheels and a bike has 2 wheels. Another name for a bike, you can also say bicycle. So, okay. How are they the same? A car and a bike are the same because they both have wheels. Let's spin again. Let's compare and contrast glass to plastic. Okay, comparing them. Glass and plastic, they're both clear. And we can contrast them and say that they're different by when you drop glass, it breaks. When you drop plastic, it doesn't always break. Okay, guys, I hope you like this game. It's really, really fun. Now I'm going to move on, okay? while Taylor Swift's, hers is at Park Higher Cone. Okay? Another difference is one singer is a woman and one singer is a man. Ed Sheeran is a man and Taylor Swift is a woman. Okay? Those are just some of the differences that I spotted and that I wrote. The fourth question was, which singer would you prefer to see and why? So whoever you prefer to see, that's your opinion and it's correct. But for me, I would prefer to see Ed Sheeran because I like his music better than Taylor Swift's music. Okay? So now we just learned how to compare and contrast pictures, right, with the pupils. Then we learned to compare some short text from an advertisement. Now we're going to learn how to compare and contrast longer text. So what I recommend is you take a picture of the screen of this text, because after the text I have some questions that I want you to answer and you might need to refer back to the text. So please, if you want to, take a picture of the screen so you can refer back to the text later. Okay, so I'm going to read it out loud now for you. Text number 1. It's called Fox and Bear. Fox saw the farmers planting the field with corn. He went to visit Bear and said that him and Bear should share the field. Fox said that he would have the tops of the crop, Yavul, and Bear would have the roots. When the crops finished growing, Bear did not like having only the roots of the corn plants, but it was what they had agreed. The next year, Fox saw the farmers planting turnips. He went to visit Bear. He said that, to be fair, this year, Bear would have the tops of the crop and Fox would have the roots. When the crops finished growing, Bear wasn't happy again. He had only the bitter tops, while Fox had the nice, sweet turnips. But it was what they had agreed upon. However, Bear never agreed to share the field with Fox again. Okay, let's go on to text number 2. Please take a picture of your screen, okay? So when we read the questions, you can look back at the text to answer. Camel and Pig. Camel said being tall was best, and Pig said being short was best. Camel said if he was wrong, he would give up his hump. Pig said if he was wrong, he would give up his curly tail. They came to a garden inside a low wall. Camel reached his long neck over the wall and ate until he was full. Pig could not even see over the wall. Then they came into a garden inside a high wall with a covered gate. Pig went through the gate and ate until he was full. Camel was too tall to go through the gate. They thought about all this and decided that Camel would keep his hump and Pig would keep his curly tail, because as Pig said, tall is good when tall is needed and short is good when short is needed. So let's compare and contrast the texts. If the following statements are true for only one of the stories, please write the name of the story. If the following statements are true for both of the stories, please write both. If the following statements are not true for both of the stories, then please write neither. Compare and contrast texts. The characters are animals. In which stories are the characters animals? Number 2, someone learns a lesson. Number 3, one character is smarter than another. Number 4, the characters disagree about something in the beginning. Number 5, the characters agree about something in the beginning. Number 6, the setting is indoors. Number 7, one character tricks another. Number 8, the characters never agree about anything. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think of what the answers are. Remember, look back at the text. You took pictures, I hope, of the text, so look back so you can get the answers. Okay, now I'm going to walk you through the answers. Let's do it together. So, number 1, the characters are animals. This is true, and you know this based on the titles of the story, right? Fox and Bear, Camel and Pig. Stories are about animals. Next, someone learns a lesson. In both stories, they learn lessons. Bear learns not to be tricked anymore. He won't share his field again. One character is smarter than another. In which story is this true? This is true in the fox and bear story. Fox is smarter than bear. Fox tricks bear, right? He tricks him into that fox will eat the corn, and that when the crop turns to turnip, fox will still eat the turnip also, and bear always gets left out. He doesn't get to eat anything good. Number 4, the characters disagree about something in the beginning. The answer I hope you wrote is camel and pig. In the beginning, camel says that being tall is better, whereas pig says being short is better. Number 5, the characters agree about something in the beginning. So the answer to this is the fox and bear story. In the beginning, they both agree to share the field, to share the crops. 6, the setting is indoors. Remember, setting means where the story takes place. So neither story. Both stories took place outside. Number 7, one character tricks another. This is true only for the fox and bear story. Fox tricks bear to eat the root of the corn, and he tricks him later that he can also eat the turnips. Number 8, the characters never agree about anything. This isn't true for either of the stories, so neither. In the fox and bear story, they both agree to share the crop in the beginning. In the camel and pig story, they both agree at the end of the story that tall is good when you need tall, and short is good when you need to be short. I bet you got these answers right. Good job, you guys. Now here's a short video that we're not really going to have time to watch, but maybe if you scan this, you can watch it later. So take out your QR scanner, scan it, and watch it at home. It's a very good video. And now we're coming to our end. We're going to summarize and conclude what we learned today. So today, you learned how to find out what is different and what is alike between pictures and between texts. You are also able to learn new vocabulary, which helped you say what is the same and what is different about these things. I hope you enjoyed my lesson. I hope to see you soon. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.